Welcome back into the show. In honor of the Jags home playoff game, we're playing Jeopardy again, but a special Jacksonville Jaguars theme. We have Atyia Collins, Robert Speta, and Sarah Glenn, all to play for prizes this time. We're stepping the game up. Now, if you're new to our show or just not familiar with Jeopardy, we'll give you clues, and the contestants have to respond in the form of a question. The first one of them to raise their hand that I see will be the one I call upon. We have not yet graduated to the buzzer system that Ken Jennings has. So, contestants, are you ready?
As ready as we can be.
There we go. I love the optimism. Let's play Jeopardy. Our first clue in Imagine These Images. Pictured here is what was supposed to be the original logo for the Jacksonville NFL franchise. Things had to change when this car company thought it looked too familiar. Oh, Sarah Glenn raised her hand first.
Jaguar.
Yes, that is correct. Oh, it must be in the form of a question.
What is Jaguar?
There you go. Sarah with 1 point.
I thought it was a trick question.
We're here to help. Not everything is impossible. Okay, question 2 in Imagine These Images. The first ever draft pick from the franchise. This summer, he became the first Jags player to be inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Yes, Robert Speta, I saw your hand.
Who is Tony Baselli?
That is correct. Tony Baselli, first pick, and also the radio color commentary for the Jaguars broadcast. Oh. Question number 3 in Imagine These Images. A tiger before he was a Jag, the Acosta Bridge was lit in purple and orange for this current Jaguars player on draft night in 2021. Sarah Glenn again.
Trevor Lawrence.
In the form of a question.
Who is Trevor Lawrence?
That is correct. All right, so after our first category, Sarah with 4 points, Robert with 2, Atyia yet to hit the board, but a strong contestant no less. The final 2 categories that we have are potpourri and hip hip history. So question 1 in potpourri. The Jaguars became a team in the 90s, so it's only fitting that their first playoff game and playoff win came against this team. Contestants, I'm sorry, but you're out of time, and Robert, you will kick yourself because they played and beat the Buffalo Bills.
I had a 90s.
Where are you from?
Yeah.
Where were you very much alive in formative years?
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
Question number 2 in potpourri. Known for hijinks like flying through the stadium, this is the full name of the Jaguars mascot. Robert.
Who is Jackson DeVille?
That is correct. Another 2 points for Robert. Question number 3. With hair not quite as long as Trevor Lawrence, this Chargers quarterback will take the field against the Jaguars in tonight's playoff game. It appears that we have very local sports fans, not national.
Yes, we only know Jaguars.
Yes. Justin Herbert is the name of the Chargers quarterback, and I believe we can speak for everyone. Hopefully he has a less than stellar game tonight. Maybe a low voltage game for the Chargers quarterback. All right, question number 1 in hip hip history. The Jaguars are one of 4 current NFL teams to never reach the Super Bowl, including the Browns, the Lions, and this Jacksonville rival. Yes, Sarah Glenn.
Who are the Titans?
I'm sorry, that is incorrect.
Okay.
We'll take 1 point away. Atyia Collins.
I'll just try. Who are the Chargers?
I'm sorry, the Chargers lost to the 49ers in the 1994 Super Bowl. The answer is the Houston Texans. They only became a franchise in about 2002, so a little recent in that respect. Okay, question number 2 in hip hip history. The Jaguars are in the playoffs for the first time in 5 years, but the team made the playoffs this many times in their first 5 years as a franchise. Robert.
What are 2 times?
Ooh, I'm sorry, incorrect. Atyia.
What are 3 times?
I'm sorry, also incorrect. Do you care to guess a wager?
1 time.
I'm sorry, that is also incorrect. Okay. They were far more successful than you give them credit for. 4 times in their first 5 years as a franchise. And that leads us to our last question in the game and our last question of hip hip history. Although he found his greatest success after Jacksonville, this eventual Super Bowl champion was the first head coach in franchise history. Yes, Sarah.
Who is Tom Coughlin?
That is correct. Founder of the J Fund, a very charitable organization here in Jacksonville that helps many, many families. And Atyia, I know you've done some work with the J Fund in
I
recent
did not know that, so learn something new every
Yes,
day.
is Hall of Fame coach, or at least should be Super Bowl champion. And as we said, prizes, we have candy for all of our contestants who played Jacksonville Jeopardy this morning. We hope you had some fun. This segment will be available online if you would like to play along as well.